Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be doing a WoW guide. Since the new expansion Legion just came out, I apologize for Skype. Since the new expansion Legion just came out, there's going to be a huge wave of new players and thus people who do not know how to play the game. So I'm going to be teaching you just the basics for this video, and later on we'll be moving on to more, uh, you know, more expansive or more in detail videos. But for now, let's start with what you're going to first do when you first log on. You're going to be faced with like this character customization screen, and if you're going with a friend, which I highly recommend, is start the game with a friend. Even if they don't know what they're doing, give it a second. It's going to be doing some character retrieving. I've been kind of acting up a little bit. There we go. So you're going to go to change realm and make sure you and your friend are on the same player. I'm going to go on to what each of these items mean. I know I have a lot of characters shut up about it. So let's start with population. We got low, new players, medium, full. New players, I'm unsure on this, I apologize, but I'm pretty sure that's the lowest amount. Do that, or it's just starting to get new players into it. Then you got low, which means of course there's low people, medium, and full. Now just because it's full doesn't mean it's actually full. It just means there's a lot of people in it. Locked means it's completely full. Like, you cannot get into it. It's going to be, you're going to have to enter a queue time. So, and then after that, we're going to go on to what this means. You got PvP, which is going to be player versus player. Anywhere in the world, you can go into PvP. You got normal, which is not so much the same thing. You're going to have to be in designated PvP areas to do any PvP. RP PvP, which means you're going to be role-playing, and you're going to be in a PvP environment. Then you just have straight up role-playing. And, you know, it's whatever's up to you. So, normally you're going to want to get on to an either medium pop or high pop server. Or even full. The reason why is because that's going to be the server with the most amount of guilds. And if you don't like that, then go on to a low pop server. That is fine. But you're going to want to go on, what I normally go on to is a PvP high pop or medium pop server. So we're going to go into Mal'Ganis. Or Mal'Ganis. I don't know how to say that. Ganis? Sorry. But now we're going to go into character choice. So we're going to go into create new character. And you have, excuse me, you're going to first choose your character's gender. And then you have Alliance and then Horde. There are two sides on the Alliance and Horde. Two sides in this game, which are the Alliance and Horde, of course. Both of them kind of going at each other's throats, and usually players are more dedicated to one side than the other. I like to switch between Alliance and Horde. I have no problem with it, but, you know, there are players that are very hardcore about what they are. And then you have Pandaren. Pandaren, you go on a quest line. After the quest line is done, you choose which one, Alliance or Horde, you want. And there's more storyline to that. This is a very storyline driven game. So, and now after you choose in your race and your gender, you're going to want to go to custom. Well, no, sorry. I apologize. Don't go to customize. You're going to want to go to class. You got ranged and melee. Those are the two different generals. So, like, warriors are very melee oriented. They're going to be using either two-handed weapons or a one-hand weapon and a shield, and that's just what they are. Paladins, two-handed weapons, one hand or a shield, but they can also be healers, and I'll go into more what that is later. And hunters, they're very ranged oriented. There is now a specialization, which means you can be a melee hunter, and you have a pet along with you. Rogue, very melee. Priest, those are going to be ranged, and they can also be healers. Shaman, ranged, melee, or healing. Healing means you're not going to be attacking, you're just going to be helping out your team. Go more into what that is later. So, mages are going to be always ranged. Warlocks, always ranged. Monks, either melee or healing. And then you got druid. Different races can be different classes. Some cannot be a class. Druids, they can be ranged. They can be melee, or they can be healers. Death Knights, continue. Sorry. Death Knights, they start at level 55, just by the way, and they're always going to be melee. Demon Hunters, melee. So now let's go into what each class is. warrior. Very basic. Usually they're going to be tank. They wear really heavy armor, also known as plate armor, and they're going to be using two-handed like axes and swords, a sword and a shield, or a or two-handed weapons. And I'll get more into what specializations do, but they can be tanks. And what a tank is in a group, he's going to be the one soaking up all the damage so that everyone can do damage to whatever he's facing. So say in a big boss fight, you're going to be the most important guy. You are crucial to that fight because you're going to be absorbing all the damage so no one else is getting hurt. So that's basically him. He can also be DPS. DPS meaning he solely does damage. Does not soak up any unless, there's area of effect in which the healers will take care of you. Next, we got paladins. Paladins, again, same thing as warriors, but they use magic with them. And they can also be healers. What healers do is they heal other people. They have spells that will increase someone's health, or they'll return someone's health. They can even have it so that they take less damage. Warriors will have, tanks will also have spells that let them take less damage so they can soak up more. Also, these guys can also be tanks. They usually use a spell that will make them so they absorb damage. Hunters, they are always going to be ranged. They're going to have a pet with them, and basically you just shoot your gun. You're going to be ranged. You have your pet. You can tame other pets. You can tame really cool pets. Different pets have different abilities. That's their kind of overall thing. And we're going to have to go to this guy, and then we're going to talk about rogues. Rogues are going to be stealth oriented. They can go invisible. They can go behind their enemies and backstab them for huge amount of damage, and doing all the damage at the very beginning of the fight. So it's like a huge burst at the very beginning, and it kind of drops off from there. Then we're going to talk about priests. They can be damage dealers or healers. Damage, they kind of, shadow priests, I apologize. Shadow priests are going to just keep increasing their critical hits. And at the very end, when they, and if they get too much of this, they will literally explode and die. So you have to keep that kind of above and below. And also, as a healer, you got, again, same thing, They just use magical spells to smite their foes. And if you really want to go in depth about what they are, press more info. It'll tell you all about them and sample abilities. So, we're going to go into shamans. They use totems. This is a totem right here. That's a fire totem. And shamans, they use the elements to power them up. They use elements to do all their damage or to heal people. They are very good chain healers, meaning they can do, or not chain healers, AoE healers, area of effect. They can heal multiple people all at once. And they can do damage to multiple enemies all at once. They're very AoE oriented. Unless you are the melee spec of a shaman. Melee, they are going to get up and close, dropping totems, using elements, smacking them with two hammers, and their hammers are going to be powered by the elements. Mages, you have your three main classes of mages: fire mages, frost mages, or arcane mages. All of which use damage to hit their enemies. Fire damage is very oriented on doing critical hits and hitting for very big damage, just doing a lot of damage with one spell. Frost, they do a bunch of spells. They power up ice shards and throw the ice shards at their enemy. Arcane, I don't exactly know what Arcane does. I haven't played a lot of a mage, but this is just a general overview, and I'll do more research when we get into in-depth class guides. Warlocks, they summon little minions like this, and they do damage. They do dark fell damage, and sometimes they'll do damage over time, or they'll do big bursts of damage. It depends on your playstyle. Monks, they get up and close. They are very movement based. They wear lighter armor. It's called leather, and they do basically all their damage with punches. And sometimes they'll drink, if you're a tank and you're soaking up all that damage, you'll drink brews to make it so that you don't take as much damage and you heal yourself. Druids, they transform into other things. Say if you're feral, you're going to be a cat most of the time. You're going to be doing damage with critical strikes. If you're a bear, if you're going to be in your bear form, you're going to soak up a lot of damage. You're going to take less damage. You're going to have more health than most druids. If you're gonna be a balanced druid, I believe, yeah, balanced druid, you're gonna be a moonkin, and you're gonna be doing like there's gonna have a little scale. You're gonna go over from the moon to the sun, and you're gonna be doing spells based on what that is. A little more complicated. We'll get into that later. And healers, they do healing. They put something called HOTS on people, healing over time, HOT, and that you can put multiple healing over time over several people. That way, you're healing a bunch of people all at once. Demon Hunters, I haven't played enough to know about it. Basically, very movement based. Death Knights, they're gonna be basically they take from the Lich King, which was an early expansion, but they do very dark damage with their sword, and yeah, that's basically who they are. So I'm gonna start off very basic with a warrior. Actually, you know what? I'll go with the Shaman. I haven't played enough the Shaman. You can. Now we're going to go into customizations. Sorry for the stutter. I'm just kind of getting back into making videos. You can make your name whatever, except for numbers and spaces. Basically just letters. Finlana. Yeah, basically. And you can change your skin color, go into your facial expressions. How your face is going to look, hairstyle. Different hairstyles. You can go to a barber and change all this later, except for your skin color. Change your hair color. And facial hair. You can grow a beard and stuff. So we're just gonna go like I'm gonna create him how I want him, because I'm probably gonna make a class guide on shamans. So you're gonna go that pretty good. I'm okay with that, and we'll do what should we name him? I'm gonna do randomize. Don't really care. Grugum. Fine. Finish. Air creating character. They have that. I forgot about that. Huh. And we're back. Sorry about that. I had to make another character. It was being weird. Alright, we got it now. Let's enter world. Anything. Alright. So now, before we get into questing and all that other good stuff, we're going to start with your controls. So left click is going to drag you around like this. You can kind of take a look. You right click, it'll turn your character. And then if you left and right click, you can run like that. Or of course you got the W, A, S, D, and then you can of course do this and stuff. That's all jump. And then jumping is with the space, of course. Now, if you want to pull out your weapon and look cool and all, you can press Z. X sits you down, and yeah. So now that we got that covered, now we can do what's it? Tab. Target nearest. So when I press tab, see it targeted the nearest enemy, which are these training dummies. So also you're going to want to do nameplates. If you press V, enemy nameplates turned off. And nameplates turned on, if you're near an enemy, it'll kind of come up like that. And if you press Shift V, it turns friendly nameplates on. So it'll have that if you're in a group. And also you want to know B, which is your bag or your backpack. You can have multiple backpack and it's all showed down here. Now you're going to want to go escape. Sometimes you have to press it twice if you're focused on something, but it should come up with this game menu. And now, since we're in the game menu, I'm going to show you what you want to do when you first start any character. Go to interface, go to auto loot. Whenever you loot something, it'll automatically pick it up. Then you're going to want to go to action bars, bottom left, bottom right, right bar 2. If this is checked, uncheck it. You want to be able to move around. Don't worry about these letters, you're not going to have these. This is just for my personal setup, and I will talk about that later. So now, we're going to get into your first quest. Actually, before we do that, I want to talk about these. Of course, game menu, collections, you're going to see mounts, appearances. We can all get into that later when it's important. You got your guild finder. Don't worry about guilds for now. Quest log, achievements, spellbook, and abilities. This is where all your spells and future spells will be. It just kind of shows you an overview. And since I'm a shaman, I have lightning bolt, hurls a bolt of lightning at the target, dealing 26 nature damage, generating 8 maelstrom. Maelstrom is kind of like your secondary source pool. Both, of course, is right here. And then this is your mana, or what spellcasters use as a resource pool to make kind of spells. Now this is your level here. Eventually it'll go up. This is your XP bar. As it fills up, you level up. And yeah, that's basically the gist of it. And every race has a different racial ability. If you go into general, it should be there. Mine is Blood Fury. Increases your melee attack power by 4 and your spell power by 4. Lasts 15 seconds. All fun stuff. I apologize if you can hear my dog barking in the background. So now we have all that covered. We're going to do our first quest. Right click and with the yellow exclamation mark. That shows you that there is an available quest there. You can read all that. You can pause, read it, whatever. Then it shows your experience or what you're going to get and after you complete it, and it tells you what you mainly need to do right here. Click accept, and then this shows up. And if you're ever lost and you can't find where you need to go, press M. This is your map. It's going to show you your general area. If you go back, it'll kind of zoom out a little bit more. You go back again, it'll zoom out more, and eventually to your most, zoom out as far as you can. Now let's go to Gornik, because he's who we're supposed to talk to. Complete quest, accept. Now we're going to go over where he wants us. If you see this blue circle, this is where kind of like an area you need to go to. Say you have a group where you need to kill certain things or you need to gather certain things. That blue circle is where you're going to want to be. That's where everything your quest is going to have to offer is going to be. And quests are very important because they give you XP. They give you quite a bit rather than just killing things and getting XP from that. Not only is it going to give you a lot, but it's also going to give you rewards such as armor or money. So now we're going to press 1. Don't click it with your mouse. You can click it with your mouse like that. But most people, we call those clickers. And you can just press 1 and that'll do the spell for you. And usually it's just best to do that. So I'm just going to kill this thing. Then now you've killed your first thing. It says XP 50. You gain 50 XP down here. It shows it as purple. Now we're going to right click this guy and it'll come with loot. And since I have auto loot turned on, it auto gathered it for me. That's why that is so helpful. So now we want to kill 6 of these. So I'm going to just do a bit of mass pulling here. Why are they running from me? Stop. Advanced AI. Ow. Okay, they're hurting me. And as you can see, my health is going down because they're attacking me. They're pushing me back, which is like an interrupt. It's interrupting my spell casting because I moved. You got to stay still for most of these, for most of the spells you have, unless it's an instant cast. I might die here. Wait, please don't do this. Actually, that'd be good. I'll show you what happens when you die. Don't be afraid to die, but try not to. It decreases a lot of, like you see your durability, it will decrease, and eventually once it gets low enough, it'll make it so that armor isn't gonna do as much as it did. And at the end it just breaks and you have to go to repairman to fix it. Alright, so eventually this guy will kill me. Come on, you can do it. Come on, how's 2 health and it missed? Alright, you're gonna come with this. He's gonna go back to where he was, recover his health, and now you have Release Spirit, Recap. Recap will tell you exactly what happened in that battle. Release Spirit will release your spirit and return you to a graveyard, your nearest graveyard, which is this guy, or which is here. Now if you really want, you can right click them. You can find your corpse and resurrect it at that location. Players that are level 10 or below can resurrect here with no penalty. If you're above level 10, it'll decrease all of your stats by 75% for, I believe, 5 to 10 minutes, somewhere around there. But we're gonna go find our body, and on the map it shows like a little gravestone. So we're gonna go over there, and we're gonna revive there. And if you wanna go press M, it'll show you exactly where to go. And if you're outside the area where it's not in your mini-map, it'll show a red arrow. And that'll give you a general direction where to go. So now that we did that, we should be all good. It'll spawn us back with half of our health. We're gonna be okay. It took way too long to kill me, so I'm pretty sure we're fine. Just gonna keep spamming 1, and then eventually it will die. Got 50 XP. Gotta do 1 more, and then we can turn in our quest. Very beginning, you're gonna get XP really easy. Like, this is gonna be monumentally easy. No problem whatsoever, and it'll get a lot harder as you go on. Into the later levels, like the 90s and 100s, it'll be a lot harder to level up, but you'll you know, there'll be cooler scenarios and cooler quests, so it's not, you know, it's not going to be boring. So we're going to go over here, going to turn in our quest, and we're going to see what he has to offer us. And we're going to get a Cord of Accomplishment. Now, before you turn it in, sometimes you'll be faced with 2 rewards and you have to pick one. You can control left click to see what it looks on you. So that's what it looks like there. And see, I don't have it here, but it shows me it there. So, and then if you have something there, you can hold shift and it'll compare that one's stats with the one you have. If I have nothing in my belt slot, I can just press complete. And then I auto accepted the last. Auto accepted it. Usually you won't auto accept it though. And then now you see it's in my backpack. Whenever you get a new piece of armor that's better, wear it, because it'll help you so much. Don't just leave it in your bag waiting there and then you'll accidentally sell it. So we're gonna right click it, and then now I'm gonna show you how to sell, because since I just mentioned that. So we got like a little chat bubble with an arrow. That's not someone you can sell to. You can just go around here. Hey, there it is, an anvil. Anvil, these guys are on anvils. Sometimes it'll come up with a bag like that. That's a bag. You can also sell there. Anvils means you can repair your armor here. So we'll repair one item. My apologies. Or you can press this and it'll repair all items. And you can go here and buy stuff. See how it auto tells me exactly how much better it is than that piece of armor. It says +1 armor. Now I'm going to go in here, right click, that automatically sells it. I have 1 silver and 3 copper. There's 100 copper for 1 silver and 100 silver for 1 gold, but obviously we won't have gold yet. So there's that. That's going to be your very basics of it. And then we got another quest going over there, and I will cover more in the next episode, such as when you hit level 10 or when you hit level 15, what do you do then? There's those level 10 and level 15 are big points in when you first start. So just get to that level, do all this questing. Sometimes your quest will tell you to go to a different place, read it. After this is all done, you usually walk down there and it'll bring you to the next place where there's higher level enemies and more difficult challenges, and I'll just keep going from there. So now, thank you guys for watching the video. I hope this helped you guys. If you guys need another guide on something, please let me know. I would love to do them. Right now I'm being, I have an idea for this, and I'm just gonna start pumping out guides for you guys. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys had a wonderful time. I hope you guys learned something. I'll see you guys next time.